The flight he didn't want to take. Ethan Cole, the youngest CEO of a billion-dollar tech empire, was boarding the late-night flight from New York to Seattle. His mind was buried in spreadsheets, emails, and investor messages. He hadn't slept properly in 3 days. His tie was loosened, his eyes red, and his phone kept buzzing, another crisis waiting for his attention. He dropped into his first-class seat, sighing deeply. The world saw a powerful man, but tonight, he just felt empty. Then a small, soft voice beside him said, "You look tired, sir." He turned, surprised. A little girl, no older than 7, sat beside him clutching a stuffed bunny. Her curious eyes studied him with innocence he hadn't seen in years. The conversation that disarmed him. Ethan blinked, unsure how to respond. "I guess I am," he admitted, rubbing his temple. The girl smiled. "My mom says when people are tired, it's because they forgot to smile for too long." He couldn't help it, he chuckled. "Your mom sounds very wise." "She was," the girl whispered softly. "She's in heaven now. But I still try to remember what she said." The words hit him harder than he expected. He turned toward the window, suddenly silent. For years, he'd buried his own pain, his mother's death, his broken relationships, his loneliness. "Do you travel alone often?" he asked gently. She shook her head. "No. I'm going to live with my aunt. She said it'll be okay." Something inside Ethan stirred, a forgotten feeling of care, of empathy. The sketch on the napkin. Midway through the flight, the little girl pulled out her crayons. "Do you want to draw with me?" she asked innocently. He smiled faintly. "I'm not very good at drawing." "That's okay. Grown-ups just forget how to try," she said. He watched as she drew, a small house, a woman, a child, and a man in a suit standing beside them. "That's you," she explained, pointing at the man. "Because you look like someone who needs a family." He froze. The napkin suddenly meant more than any business document he'd ever signed. The landing that changed everything. As the plane prepared to land, the girl's aunt appeared, thanking Ethan for keeping her company. He smiled politely, but when the little girl turned to him, she pressed the drawing into his hand. "Keep it," she said. "So you remember to smile." He watched them walk away down the terminal, the napkin fluttering in his hand. 1 year later. A year later, Ethan Cole's company hosted a charity program for orphan children. Among the crowd, a familiar laugh reached his ears, the same little girl. She ran up to him, grinning. "You smiled this time." He knelt, tears filling his eyes. "Because you reminded me how." That night, the once cold CEO finally understood, sometimes, it takes a child's kindness to remind a grown man what truly matters.